What's up YouTube? Just to let you know, I finally got the last part for the engine build just last night and it's freaking dope. So I'm going to do the unboxing video right now and show you what my bottom end is going to be, because it's going to be the only thing that's left off stock is the crankshaft. Pretty much it. The crankshaft and the block are the only two pieces of this engine build that's going to be left stock, and even the block is going to be modified because it's going to have to be punched out and stuff like that. So onto the video. First up, I finally got the pistons in. So you're going to get to see those, and I'm going to set them up the way they're going to be on the engine. A set of rarest pistons. Thanks for this, guys. This is from 3SX. It took like 6-7 weeks for them to finally get in, but here they are. They're finally in. And let's go ahead and get them out. This is kind of like my test one. Yeah, I have unboxed them already, but just check them out. But see, these are probably some of the rarest pistons you will ever see being put into an engine, because they're for a naturally aspirated 3000 GT. Right here, 12.5 to 1 compression. At 92mm bore. Oh man, these things are going to be great. And they're billet aluminum pistons. And just to let you know, I've already put some oil on the wrist pin, so what I'm about to do is don't worry about it, it's not going to scratch. Put that here for now. And these, the next set is a set of BC625 rods. I went ahead and picked these out because they were like the third lightest set of rods. And since this is a naturally aspirated build where I wanted to turn some more horsepower, some more RPMs to it, build some more horsepower, I decided to go with these. Let's go ahead and pull them out for you. Now, there are some improvements I would like to see with these pistons, because they are a full round piston. I would much rather have a piston for what build I'm going to, with a lot of the side skirt taken out, because you know, you're trying to reduce as much weight as possible, and full round is not really going to do that very well. But you know, it's what it is. I'm a right here, that's basically going to be my piston setup. So you're going to get a little bit more displacement out of the engine because the piston's going to be like about 2mm bigger than normal, but it's not going to be that much, and it's essentially the same stroke because I wanted to be able to turn more RPMs more than displacement. So, and it's a bit lighter in stock by about 100 grams with the billet aluminum piston versus the cast one. With that, well, the 10-to-1 one is forged, I think, but it's not as good a metal, and they had to, you know, it's a bit heavier. Along with the rod, it's a bit smaller and weighs a bit less because it's made out of better material, 4130, as opposed to the OEM shit. So more RPMs, more power, and should be a bit more responsive too. And that plus the other stuff that's going into the engine, the big cams, springs and retainers, oversized valves and stuff like that, it should really kick this horsepower up a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back away. You pull out the last part for the bottom end. Set that down gently. Put this back here. Why am I doing that? It's supposed to go through that way. So before I even start the engine build, there's still going to be a lot of stuff that's going to have to happen with the block. It's going to have to be obviously disassembled. The engine's running fine, so hopefully we won't find anything major in the block. and it's going to have to be bored I'm going to have the machine shop do like a line bore on the, or at least check the clearances on the rods and mains and make sure that the rods and mains have good, are good, you know, going to have good clearances and stuff like that, so that the bottom end will last a long time. And get an idea of what my mains or rod bearings are going to have to be. Are they going to have to be oversized, or are they going to be able to remain the stock bearings? And I'll have to make the decision whether or not to get racing bearings, which won't last as long, but are sort of better. Because for me, this is mostly going to be a street car and a road course car. I'm not really going to drag race it, which is part of the biggest reason why I did not go with aluminum rods, because there's a longevity issue there. And with road coursing, you're going to be turning up a lot of RPMs and a lot of stress cycles on those rods, instead of the rods going for a short amount of time at full bore. So I decided to go against those aluminum rods to go for the steel rods for the longevity issues that the car's going to want to face. And I haven't weighed them yet, but these are here what they're supposedly weighed at. Total of 567 grams. At the pin end 172, the big end at 395, the pistons are 397 grams. So I still have to weigh and balance them and stuff like that, but you know, it should be around that ballpark, within maybe a thousandth or two or something. Either way, let's move on to the next piece. Okay, the next piece is this thing. The reason I'm counting this is part of the bottom end. This is a Fidanza 7-pound aluminum flywheel. I had a Kamali flywheel in there, but I decided I want to go with lighter because I'm still wanting to turn more RPMs and stuff like that. And less parasitic loss is always a good idea. And it's going to be a road course build, so once you're going, it's not going to be that bad. And the engine doesn't produce so much horsepower. I guarantee it's not going to produce that much. I would love to see 300 wheel horsepower, but you know, I have my doubts. It might be more closer to 270, who knows, but it'll still be a pretty lively build. And I wish there was more information about these cars in the configuration I'm putting them in, but there really isn't, so I have no idea. Nobody can tell me if they have any idea what this engine's going to want to produce in. This is like one of maybe 2 cars that I've ever been done this way, and the other one was a 6G7 4 swap, so it was a much bigger engine. But his idea was to try to turn as much torque as he could up to a certain RPM, but I'm trying to turn as many RPMs as I can while we're losing some weight in the engine. I'm probably losing 5 to 6 pounds in the bottom end alone, not counting the flywheel, going from, let's say, 21 pounds stock to 7 pounds. So if you want to count this, it's another 7 pounds on the extra 5 pounds, so 8, 9, 12 pounds at the bottom end. So should be a significant improvement, at least responsiveness, and maybe even able to turn more RPMs, like we'll say 9,000 to 9,500. Either way, it should be a pretty lively build, to say the least. And like I said, doesn't count the camshafts, springs, retainers, and stuff like that. So that being said, I guess that's the end of the video. But I wish I'd have weighed them. I don't have the scale for it. I still got to get that. Either way, I'll probably will do the weighing video. Plus, I would much rather do that when I'm actually in the engine, tearing it apart, and then I can weigh each individual piston rod versus stock to get an idea of actually how much less weight stock is going to be. Because what I read was an estimation. These guys supposedly weight stock, which is 1.4 pounds, versus the BC rods, which were 1.2. The Carrillo and Manley rods were less, but only by a slight amount, and they were way more expensive too. So I thought I was going with the better deal. It's because I have a budget to think about too, and it's a lot of money. These pistons are $830. The rods were $600. This right here was another $400. I'm like, the cams were $930, means retainer for $600. The Ferrea oversized valves were another $600. Cam gears were $421 by themselves. You know, that's a lot of freaking money. You know, my intake manifold was $700, and my headers are like $700. So you tell me, that's a lot of freaking money, and I don't have any sponsors. So it was also the reason why we'll turn out as many parts as I could while this motor is still being essentially in part collecting phase, because I don't have any sponsors. So, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Please share the video, leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get a Twitter account, which I'm really only doing the Twitter account because of some other stuff. But either way, I'll post this video on Twitter, I guess. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Leave that like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. So, in closing, I would like to go ahead and thank 3SX Performance for getting the piston done. Until it took a while, but it takes a while to make a custom set of pistons. And once they were there, you delivered them within like 2 or 3 days. So I'm not like complaining or anything like that. It's awesome. The pistons look like a work of art, and almost halfway tempted not to put them in because they look like a freaking really cool piece just of metal. And Ross Pistons for making the pistons, and you know, BC Cams or Brian Crower for the rods and stuff like that. I can't wait to get them all in and see this little motherfucker. See this damn thing grip. So I guess that'll be the end of the video. It's fucking cool. I can't wait to see it happen. See you later.